जय राधा माधव जय
Alright? Yeah. Okay.
We the young youth, the working cabinet limited, we have to get it out. We have to get it. And if we don't get it, the older people dying, the young people dying, and we not get it done. You keep your promise, you must come to the government and keep your promise. We lay the Minister more. We can't wait no more. We want to land. We want to land. People don't stand up. Understand? We want to like it. Without that job, we have to go and look for a work.
Otherwise, no vote for you.
We want to get our deep change. We want to get our deep change. Come on, people. We might get and go, and we will never get to land, people. We will never get to land. Under the work camp is so hard. And that was promised to me at 2 hectares and 1 plot. Why we can't get it? Why we can't get the land? Why?
That's not a problem.
Why?
That's supposed to
Yes. Yes. The people who die and the family were going to get it 1 lot, they say they can't get it. Why the family can't get it?
The
Why?
outsiders could get. Outsiders could
Yes.
get, but sugar workers can't
Yes.
get.
We from Felicity. We need the land. We need the land. We from Felicity. This is why we come here for. For we focus the land.
Right now, the land in Baghdad. Right now, the land in Baghdad. And
Yes.
they're going to give us the land
Yes.
back.
Everybody land, they can ride. We
No
don't
vote.
have to get the land.
No vote.
They promised me when there was the coming government, they were getting extra to work on the land. They promised me, and that was the Bradley complex. When she come in power, she said the first thing she going to do, help the cabinet workers. So they were weird.
Only promises.
Only promise. I might get it. Why?
That's supposed to
That's how we walk.
Yes.
So it's a symbolic march that the ex-colony workers have waited too long to get what is due to them. It's a march to highlight to the national community and to those in authority that enough is enough and the time had come to take care of the ex-colony workers.
Yeah! People all come up, yeah.
We are saying to the government that these people here, almost every single one of these persons here would have voted for you. They are the foundation upon which your party stands, and you have to take care of them now. We are demanding our just due now.
What are some of the problems that these people are facing at the current time?
There are many. Well, actually, you have over 5,000 ex-colony workers who are still to receive leases for their 2-acre plots and residential lots. You have many who have received leases and are unable to know where the lands are located for the leases they have received. You have many who have paid for leases over 5 years and are still to get the leases. There are those who have access to lands, but there are no infrastructural development, no ponds, no irrigation, no drainage. In the majority of cases, there's a total lack of infrastructural development. You have residential lots being given out to individuals and there are no approvals for electricity or water or sewage. So we have a situation where every single person in this country is afforded what is due to them except the ex-colony workers.
Yeah, people.
Land for the landless, quota regularization, HDC houses, all approvals, but the lands for the ex-colony workers seems to be a problem for this government as it was for the past government.
Yes.
And we are saying give them their lands now. That is all we are saying.
Right now. Right now.
I don't want to use the words betray. I would say it seems as though something has gone definitely wrong. It seems as though that those who now control the party that these people would have supported has other things on their minds. Well, let me say that there have been many private individuals and big farmers, big contractors who have gotten access to colony lands even before the ex-colony worker. There are actually private companies that have accessed colony lands even before the ex-colony worker. And I'm saying to this government that, like the former regime, you are in breach of the D.L. Singh judgment, which mandated that every single ex-colony worker was supposed to be afforded a 2-acre plot and a residential lot. And they have been waiting for more than 10 years. In addition to those issues, we have the issues of the interest to be paid back on the sweetener loan investment for ADB and the Unit Trust Corporation. We have the issue of the cane farmers, thousands of them, who are also waiting for adequate compensation since the shutdown of the sugar industry. So there are many, many issues for which we are gathered here today. And we are appealing to the government. We are saying to them that these are your people. And do not engage in reverse discrimination against your own supporters. That is what we are saying today. We have gone to Makale, we have gone to Taruba, we have gone to Philly City, we have gone to Dow Village, we went to St. Madeleine, we went to Korea Village, and everywhere on the ground there's a level of discontent never yet experienced before among the supporters of this party. And people are beginning to say, though they may not, or they may find it very hard pressed to vote for another party, they may very well stay home when the elections come. I am saying to this government, with a 29-seat majority, when you started off, if you had the political will, and if you could still develop the political will, all you need to do is to take a note to cabinet and resolve all these issues. Because these issues are political issues. That is all you need to do. I won't be surprised if on the eve of the election, or even this year, 5,000 ex-colony workers get leases. However, the leases are not necessarily the problem. People are getting leases without any infrastructural development. People are getting leases and they don't even know where the lands are located. So the leases are simply a piece of paper. What we are asking for is for the government to immediately and expeditiously implement the D.L. Singh judgment. That is what we are asking for. There are over 5,000 ex-colony workers who are affected by the delay. But as you would be aware, this is a symbolic march. It was not a march designed for quantity. It was a march because there are many ex-colony workers who are now over 70, 75. It was a march designed to send a symbolic message to the government that the time had come and enough is enough. We demand our justice. We here are representing those who are unable to be here because of age and illness and what have you. We are saying to the government, take care of the people whose backs you would have stood on to be propelled into power. Take care of them now. That's it.
We have Thomas Settler.
This isn't a good morning. I have bad news. I was told, and it has been confirmed, that the Kamala Persad-Bissessar administration has been meeting privately with the European Union delegation in Port of Spain and the Cane Producers Association, who we walked away from because of corruption issues. I am told that they have decided to give the Tambi clan more than $200 million to set up an economic zone which not one single cane farmer wants. They are not listening to cane farmers. They cannot find one cane farmer who wants an economic zone. They want their cash compensation for the economic losses incurred. I am told by the same sources that the government will continue to refuse to meet with the former Cane Farmers Association, who are advocating for cash compensation and cash compensation only. Now, the problem here, Trinidad and Tobago, is that the Cane Producers Association received $1 million to set up a secretariat. I was the architect. I wrote the proposals. I was the executive director. And into $400,000, I reported issues of corruption and nepotism. I have the registered mail in this green bag on my shoulder informing Minister Bo Tiwari, Minister Devan Maraj of the corrupt issues. I also informed the mighty European Union that the money that they're putting into this with their approval is going in a corrupt way, and that the farmers has no wish, none at all, to get into those agricultural exploits because they know that there is nothing to be made. I have members who are 85 years old, and you are saying that you are getting into an economic zone and you are going to mine goat and sheep and fish and develop greenhouses. I want to know who this is for. The average age of the former cane farmers is 70 years. Who is this for? You have people dying. My chairman is in hospital right now. He's 74 years old. He is waiting on his compensation. We marched to Port of Spain 15 days. 15 days, very peaceful, very quiet. All we ask is that we meet with the Prime Minister to have a conversation about the future of these people, and she has refused. The question before us now is, what the hell do we do? The buck stops here.
Yes.
Elections is next year.
Let me pick him up.
It is time. Most of my members can't walk out here. They can't move from on the beds. And they're wondering what it has happened. This government, this Kamala Persad-Bissessa administration promised within, 90 days of getting into office, we will resolve these issues. What happened now? What kind of change did they go through? This is a question of justice. Where is the justice? Why aren't they listening? Why aren't we having a conversation? Why, at this point in our lives, we have to be marching on the road and quarreling about justice? There is so much resources in this country. You have money to do everything else. Everything else. But the people who helped to build this country, you turn your backs on them.
अपने करम की कराना है मुझको इरादे दे कसमें दे वादे दे मेरी दुआओं के इशारों को सहारे दे दिल को ठिकाने दे नए बहाने दे ख्वाबों की बारिशों को मौसम के पैमाने दे अपने करम की करादाए कर दे इधर भी तू निगाहें सुन रहा है ना रो रहा हूँ मैं मंजिलें रुसवा है, खोया है रास्ता, आए ले जाए इतनी सी इल्तिजा। ये मेरी जमानत है, तू मेरी अमानत है। हाँ, अपने करम की करादाए कर दे इधर भी तू निगाहें। सुन रहा है ना तू, रो रहा हूँ मैं। सुन रहा है ना तू, क्यों रो रहा हूँ मैं। वक्त भी ठहरा है, कैसे क्यों ये हुआ। काश तू ऐसे आए जैसे कोई दुआ। तो रूह की राहत है, तू मेरी इबादत है। अपने करम की करादाए कर दे इधर भी तू निगाहें। सुन रहा है ना तू, रो रहा हूँ मैं। सुन रहा है ना तू, क्यों रो रहा हूँ मैं। सुन रहा है ना तू, रो रहा हूँ मैं। सुन रहा है ना तू, क्यों रो रहा हूँ मैं। यारा भूख जगी हर ओर से, मन घबराए शोर से। भूख जगी हर ओर से, मन घबराए शोर से। मन घबराए शोर से, शोर से, शोर से, शोर से, शोर से। किससे मांगे रोटी कपड़ा, किससे कहे मकान दो, किससे कहे देश को मेरे बस सच्चा इंसान दो, इंसान दो। टपक रहा है
as many I know him, is the President General of the Bank Employees Union. He is here today to address you, to give you the support and solidarity of his trade union. Brother Vincent Cabrera, comrade, I now bring you to the platform to address the people.
Comrade President Maraj, Comrade General Secretary Tiwari, Comrade John Jaglal, who I have been in the trenches with even longer than the first two comrades I called. Members of all Trinidad, it is indeed a historic occasion today, and I want to say that I represent not the Bank Employees Union, that is part of the union, old union. I represent the Banking, Insurance and General Workers Union. As part of the Joint Trade Union movement, as you know, I have always been with you. Whenever I have been called upon, I have made myself present. I want to firstly congratulate Comrade Novan Maraj for calling this demonstration today. Put your hands together and congratulate him. Because I know in taking the decision, he had to weigh many points, look at many peculiarities in which the context in which the struggle is put today, the economic, the social, and certainly the political. And I want to congratulate you, the members of our Trinidad and former members, for coming out and making this struggle a success today. I just have a few things to say, and as normal, I am very controversial. And if I disagree with some of the things that have been said, permit me. I think at age 58, after struggling in this country for maybe 17 years, I have the right to disagree if I want to disagree. After all, we live in a democracy. And I want to say that the first thing I disagree with is that people were saying this morning that this struggle is not political. This march is not political. When the first blade of cane was planted in the Caribbean, it was because of politics. When our foreparents, both African and Indian, were brought to the Caribbean to work and to work hard, it was because of politics. When the sugar industry was closed down by Patrick Manning, it was a political act. And the day that we win our land that they owe us, it will be because of political action. And I want to say to you that we must divide the politics of injustice from the politics of justice. This is not about the politics of political party, but it's politics of the working class. I want to hear you. So in that sense, when I get up in the morning and I go to the bathroom, it is because of politics. And when I close my eyes to sleep at night, it is also political. People have to understand that. We are about the politics of freedom, the politics of the people, the politics of justice. And let me say, when you're a leader, it is the most difficult thing to talk the truth. Because people in Trinidad like Mama Guy. They like to hear the nice things. But when you tell them the bitter truth, they sometimes dislike you. Well, if people have to dislike me, fine. But I will stand by the truth and I will die by the truth. And I simply want to say, after making those 2 points, that you have to begin to look to the way forward. And if you have to begin to look at the way forward, you have to engage in what is called strategic planning. And if we have to win this struggle, and I'm certain we will win. We must understand that struggle is not like Nescafe coffee. You don't just mix it in hot water if you don't like milk and sugar like me, and you get coffee to drink. You have to struggle and struggle until you don't have a better life in your body again. So that one march is not going to win this struggle. And the leaders must understand that. And you must understand that. Fortunately, we are in a pre-election period. And every march will hurt them. And we must tell them, if you are hurting us, we will hurt you. And if every time we march, it will hurt you, we will march and march again and hurt you until we get what we want. You think it is by chance that they made us march through the cane field instead of Cuba? That was a political act. And you have to understand that. Because it was some beauty queen show or some festival show, they would have blocked up the whole of Cuba this morning. Traffic or no traffic. That is why I was insisting in front of the march, take your time. Because we are peace-loving people. But we have to learn to make noise. We have to learn to raise our voices. When we march, we must cause traffic to stop. Because if we don't cause the traffic to stop, it's no damn march at all. People have to understand that. And I am saying to you that representing service sector workers in this country, representing cane farmers, representing workers, former workers, and we talk about VSEP, the damn thing wasn't no VSEP. VSEP is voluntary. It wasn't voluntary, it was forced upon you. I ain't know that. It wasn't voluntary, it was forced upon you. VSEP is just a name. And I am saying to you that we need to understand that all the people we represent, why I am here? Because all are we swimming in the same water. I want to say it again. All are we swimming in the same water. Understand that, my people. And if we have to get out of that water and get to shore, we have to unite to get on that boat to get out of the water. And I want to end now by quoting Frederick Douglass, who I'm certain many of you all know about. He said, if there is no struggle, there is no progress. Those who profess to favor freedom and yet depreciate agitation are men who want crops without plowing up the ground. They want rain without thunder. They want rain without lightning. They want the ocean without the awful roar of its mighty waters. This struggle may be a moral one. In fact, it is a moral one. Or it may be a physical one. Or it may be both. But it must be a struggle. I thank you for it.
He had marched a couple of months ago, he and his team, on a day-to-day basis to Port of Spain to get the present government to recognize what is due to the cane farmer. I want to bring to you on the podium now, Brother Sikiru.
In this struggle, because I saw injustice, and I didn't see any opportunity for urban communities. And when I got in, I realized that things going from bad to worse. Got involved with some people. We wrote proposals, it got accepted by the European Union, things began to happen. People got strange, and then they began to turn against farmers' best wishes. So we started to march. I've never
Vincent, all my friends on this side, I can tell you I am tired. I don't want to march no more. But we don't have much choices. The Constitution which we support is under attack, and it's under attack from our own government. 15 days on the road to Port of Spain, seeking the attention of the Honorable Prime Minister. And every day, for that 15 days, I listened to a bunch of old people. And they said to me, people passing around leading, geriatrics. 85 years old. Have to be marching on the streets on the way to Port of Spain to get the attention of our government. The sad thing about it is that I have to listen to these stories that this is my Kamla, and this is my government, and how my government treated me so. Blatant attacks, denial of equal opportunity. I have a ton of letters written to Honorable Prime Minister and ministers asking for the opportunity to treat with the issues that the cane farmers deem important to them. But instead of meeting with us to discuss the claim of geriatrics, they decide that they will continue to talk with one of the legal entities involved and ignore the other one. Because the other one is talking about an urban economic zone, which is my idea, and you could kill me for it, but it's an idea gone bad. The whole idea behind the struggle was that we will seek cash compensation for economic losses, and we deal with that first, and to move the economy and to move rural communities, we will go after an urban economic zone. However, along the way, a few individuals got lost. I don't want to call them cabal. It may sound too important. Barely that begin. But the government decided instead that they are going to talk to them because it is about cash. The cash is going to go into this so-called urban economic zone. And it is, you know how money gets spread away here in Trinidad and Tobago. Right? But worst of all, who at 85 years old going to work on urban economic zone? Nobody. 6,000 former cane farmers at home, equipment sitting on the side. It's rotting. A government which promised that they are going to take care of this upon ascension to office suddenly have lost faith. They're not talking to anybody. Suddenly, they forget who they are. So what do we do? I don't want to be marching up and down the road. The same constitution which we march to defend says that we have a right to vote. And we are going to be calling a general meeting soon to discuss that particular issue. We are going to send a message to them that we are not going to be marching after June 11th. After June 11th, we are going to put the machinery in place to deal with them at the polls.
The person I'm going to introduce to you is a person in the embryo stage of formulating the organization to organize these meetings all over the country, one of the architects. and a struggle from the inception of the colony era. This brother is the President General of the Sugar Boilers Association, Rocky Mohammed. Come to the microphone.
This morning, I want to tell you here, my dear brothers and sisters, we are not here to talk about the closure of Kearney 1975 Limited under the wicked and evil B&M government. We are here to talk about our business. We are here to talk about our entitlement and not a gift. We are here to talk about our VSEP package, which each and every one of you has earned. And we are not here to talk about the evil and wicked B&M, but we are here to talk about our present government and our present government ministers who have sucked the blood of Kearney 1975 Limited and sitting in Parliament and not uttering one single word about you. My dear brothers and sisters, we have been struggling for the past 3 months, keeping meetings in all different areas. And all sorts of things were said to us. But we must not forget, whatever happened in the past, we should not take it into the future. We should not make it present. We should take it into the future. So, my dear brothers and sisters, in all our meetings, which was well attended, we had appreciated every single one of you. And our demand is from a government that each and every one of you here might have voted with your family. And this is our right, my dear brothers and sisters, to demand what is ours, and we demand it immediately. My dear brothers and sisters, prior to the general election 2010 in Pinal, the Prime Minister had indicated to each and every one of you Kearney workers that she would deal, within 30 days, she would deal with all your issues. 47 months gone. 47 months gone. Why are we sitting here today? 47 months gone. Why are we sitting here today? Because they don't care one damn about me and you. But our children are smarter than us. They are smarter than us. Because if you check the results of the local government election, you would see that one councillor won by 27 votes and he boasting. Another councillor won by 22 votes and he boasting. You know what was that result? Because it is me and you alone who went and voted in that election. Our children and our dependents are more smarter. They did not vote. Because why? Why they did not vote? Because our government, my government, your government, who we have put in power, they have forsaken us. They have forsaken us, my dear brothers and sisters. And we must stand up and fight. All our brothers and sisters, I want you to get the message to all our brothers and sisters who decide home, to stay home and sit and wait. I want you to tell them, we welcome them anytime. Because my dear brothers and sisters, if we are not bonded together, the government of Trinidad and Tobago, which you and I have voted for, will not take us on. I demand, and you demand, your family demand, your children demand, that the government of Trinidad and Tobago must pay the sweetener loan immediately. In our last meeting at Renzi Complex on December 8th, Devant Maharaj, Honorable Devant Maharaj, was somewhere out of this country, and he heard about our meeting on the 8th of December, and he did a press release and lied to each and every one of you. Is he fit to hold that office of Ministry of Agriculture? He lied and told the media that the government of Trinidad and Tobago is calculating your ADB sweetener payment. That is pure lie, my dear brothers and sisters. Because we had negotiated that on the 27th of July, 2013. And it is we who have the technology and who have completed all the calculations for every single one of you who had invested in that plan. We know. And we have presented that. We have presented that to the ministry so they can't come and fool you and tell you they're working out. We could send 2 people and in 1 week time, every single man could have their money in their bank. So I demand, my dear brothers and sisters, we need our sweetener money immediately. I also demand from my government, from your government, from your children's government, and I want to say it again, and from those who have sucked the blood of Carney 1975 limited workers to be in Parliament today, I demand that all outstanding matters, regardless of staff, police, daily pay, must be settled immediately. Because, my dear brothers and sisters, I don't want to go into the Justice Dial Singh judgment. Our featured speaker will go into that. The government of Trinidad and Tobago has enough resources to endure and make sure that each and every one of you are paid what you are due. We will reach there. We will reach there. So, my dear brothers and sisters, this is only 2 items that I will demand immediately. Our featured speaker will deal with the rest. Once again, I thank you very much for having us. I thank you very much for marching with us. You all have done a wonderful job, and you deserve a round of applause for yourself.
I want to tell you that today is a glorious day. It is a historic day. For in spite of the pain and the hardship, the frustration and the misery that you have endured, ex-colony workers, for the first time in 10 years, have once again united as a band of brothers and sisters and said to the government, enough is enough. The time has come for you to deal with us now. And you must appreciate what you have done today. You have told the government that you have voted into office, deal with us now. That is why today is a historic day. It has never happened before in this country with regard to the ex-colony workers. You have made it so. And you know, I was a bit disappointed when I was told by the police this morning that I could not go through Railway Road and the Couva Main Road and California and Dow Village
But I know where that orders came from. But you know what? It was a good thing. It was a good thing because when I marched through the cane fields, it reminded me of why I was doing what I was doing. Because as I marched through the cane fields, I remember the thousands of my people who would have given their blood and their sweat and their tears in the cane and the sun and the rain to develop a life for themselves and their children. And it reminded me that after 10 years of the shutdown of the industry, you who never depended on political patronage or handouts, you who did what you had to do and saved every cent from every penny that you got to build a life for your children, today you have been abandoned by those who once walked side by side with you. It reminded me of that, and I said to myself, when I walk through the cane, the spirits of the thousands who have gone before me must never be disappointed. And whatever we have to do, we must protect the legacy of our fathers and our grandfathers who labored in the vineyards to give us what we have today. And the lands that are due to you are their legacy that they have left us. And we are not going to allow the PNM or the UNC to take that away from us. Never. My brothers and sisters, when I began to speak about the issues of the ex-colony workers, one government minister, a senior minister, on the newspaper said that I was a liar. Well, I will say to him today, when you call me a liar, you are calling 6,000 ex-colony workers liars. And he's calling every single one of you sitting here today a liar. But we will deal with him. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the level of the disdain and the contempt that this government, that these ministers and members of parliament have treated you. And we must put a stop to that. Without going into much detail, I want to give that goodly minister, Mr. Devant Maharaj, some facts. I want to tell him, I am not talking about lies, I'm going to talk about the facts. Brothers and sisters, there are still 4,885 ex-colony workers still to receive leases for their agricultural plots, and that is a fact. In addition, there are still 1,198 ex-colony workers who are still to be allocated a 2-acre plot, and that is a fact. There are still 5,888 ex-colony workers still to receive leases for their residential lots. And in addition to that, there are 1,500 ex-colony workers still to be allocated a residential plot. Devant Maharaj, that is a fact. Ladies and gentlemen, there are people who have been allocated lands miles away from where they live. And they have been denied the right to build anything on those lands except a 12 by 12 shack. And if they believe you would stay in the shack overnight, they break down the shack. Devant Maharaj and Jairam Simangal, that is a fact. Colony workers are facing flooding, lack of infrastructural development, lack of road crossings, inadequate water supply, no irrigation systems, larceny, a loss of crops. Devant Maharaj, that is a fact. Leases have been given out for residential lots, and the people who have acquired these leases and have begun to build houses on their lots do not even have approvals for electricity, water, or sewage. That too is a fact. And worse than that, the Prime Minister of this country at functions, happy showing you when they're giving you a lease and doing as though they are giving you a gift and a handout, when in truth and in fact it is your legal entitlement. I remember the Prime Minister giving out leases last October, and the week after, there were colony workers who came to my office inquire where were these lands located. So they were giving out leases to people, and the people didn't even know where the lands were located. That too is a fact. And that is what they are doing to you. My brothers and sisters, there are colony workers who have been allocated land, dislocated from the lands, and still to be allocated. The Agricultural Development Bank has stopped giving small farmers and ex-colony workers the unsecured $50,000 loan that was supposed to assist you in developing your plots. David Mirage, that too is a fact. These are the things that they hide from you, and these are the things that they refuse to tell you, and these are the things they refuse to say when they are spending millions upon millions of dollars in public relation campaigns. Brothers and sisters, the D.L. Singh judgment of 2008, it said that the government has the power, it has the resources to expedite the process and make sure every single ex-colony worker get what is due to them if the government so desires. And the D.L. Singh judgment went on to say, and it applied to the then PNM government, and it is now applying to the People's Partnership government. The judgment went on to say that the time it is taking to do what they have to do for the ex-colony workers is a denial of the legitimate expectation of the ex-colony worker, and it is tantamount to an abuse of power. So if the PNM was exercising an abuse of power, then I am telling you here today that the People's Partnership government is also exercising abuse of power. But there is one difference. There is one difference. We know what to expect from the PNM, but we never thought that those whom we trusted, those whom we depended on, those whom we voted for, those whom we placed in office to take care of us, we never thought that they would have turned their backs on us. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the unkindest cut of all. It hurts and it pains that those whom we trusted have betrayed that trust. You must never, never forget that. And the D.L. Singh judgment went on to say that every single ex-colony worker is entitled to a 2-acre plot with all infrastructural development in place. And every single ex-colony worker is entitled to a residential lot with all approvals in place. Ladies and gentlemen, 10 years, 7 years of the PNM, and 4 years of the People's Partnership government with 29 seats. You know what that means? They could have gone into Parliament and passed anything they wanted. And worse than that, they could have gone to Cabinet with a Cabinet note and get anything they wanted for the ex-colony workers. But today, 4 years after, you are still waiting. And that is a fact. That is a fact. In addition to that, Devan Maharaj and his cohorts implemented the Colony Green Initiative, where by a cabinet I think it was 352 of February, they went to cabinet and they told cabinet that 7,000 ex-colony workers had received leases for their land, and that less than 5% were using the land. And the cabinet passed the Colony Green Initiative to encourage this company to acquire 5,800 acres of land from the ex-colony workers, lands that are supposed to be yours. So the Colony Green Initiative was based on misinformation. It was based on lies. And when we wrote the Prime Minister, this union prepared a document, and that document was sent to every And we appeal to the Prime Minister to launch an immediate investigation to determine how is it that the Cabinet of Trinidad and Tobago could make decisions about the Caroni Green Initiative based on misinformation and misleading information, and make decisions that was working to the detriment of the ex-Caroni worker. To date, no response. People's Partnership Government is a fact. Ladies and gentlemen, you were given a license to occupy your lands. You were never given a lease. And by giving you a license, they effectively denied you security of tenure and the ability to go to the banks and take loans to help develop your lands. Instead, they lied to Cabinet. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the worst fact of all, and I will tell you why. Those people who you voted into office lied on 7,000 ex-Caroni workers. They lied on their mothers and their daughters. They lied on people who have toiled in the cane fields for generations, simply that they could take your lands and place it into the hands of a small group of businessmen who will make hundreds of thousands of dollars off your lands while they offer you $50 an acre per month for your lands. That too is a fact. And when they come to you, you know what to tell them. We are saying to this government, if in case there is any ex-Caroni worker who wishes to voluntarily give back his lands to the state, if the state wishes to acquire the lands, then you have to pay these workers $220,000 for their 2-acre plots. And I will tell you why. Your 2-acre plots was your severance package. That was there to enable you to earn a living after the shutdown of the sugar industry. You have waited 10 years and you still have not gotten those plots. That is an abuse of power and a denial of your rights under the law. If the government wants back those 2-acre plots, they have to pay you for it. I want you to remember that. In addition to that, and this is, this is hard to understand. Ex-Caroni workers paid $20,000 to $30,000 a month, $20,000 to $30,000, sorry, a lot for their residential lots. Do you know in your visa package, you were never supposed to pay any money for those lots? Never. Do you know that the Patrick Manning regime took a note to Cabinet? And that is where the decision for you to pay for those lots were made. That was never part of your agreement, and it was never part of the D.L. Singh judgment. Do you know that all this government needs to do is to take a note to Cabinet, rescind that decision, and reimburse every single ex-Caroni worker the monies that they would have paid for the residential lots. And it has to be done because it is illogical to tell a man that he has to pay to get his severance. Those lots were your severance package. That was not a gift for you. 4 years have gone by and nothing has been done. Brothers and sisters, when I told this government, and you know, over and over, I have told them, take care of the ex-Caroni workers. Take care of the people who would have supported their party in every incarnation of that party since the 1950s. Generations after generations, you would have voted for that party. When I told them, do not forget the foundation upon which they stand. Do not forget the people who would have pounded the pavement for them. Do not forget the people who would have put them into power. These
miscreants, these government ministers behave as though I am attacking them personally. In fact, as I have told you over and over, 2 of them have threatened to destroy me for telling them to take care of their people. How idiotic can you get? When I said to them, I said, if you could spend $340 million in the Color Me Orange program for 6 months, and you could spend $294 million in Carnival, and you could pay a soca artist $10 million to produce an independent CD, and you could give the Chutney Monarch $2 million, and you could give the Soca Monarch $2 million, and you could spend millions upon millions in legal fees, and millions upon millions in public relation gimmicks, and in fact, you have spent over $240 billion since 2010. Where has the money gone to take care of the issues of the ex-colony workers, your supporters? Where has the money gone? You turn a blind eye and you cannot answer. And when I said, how is it that private companies are accessing colony lands? How is it that HDC developments are getting approvals in the blink of an eye? How is it that there's land for the landless and squatter regularization programs, but the ex-colony workers are unable to get what is due to them for over 10 years? They pretend that they don't hear. But I will tell you what one government minister said to me in my office. He said, when I told him, I said, take care of those people now. They are your supporters. He said, what damn people could do with land? Do you know who he was talking about? A government minister who you voted into office is saying what damn people could do with land. And he's talking about you. That is the level of what they think about you. And I'm not talking about the PNM. And I'm not talking about the ILP. I am not talking about NJAC or the COP. I am talking about the United National Congress. Those people who you have voted into office for generations. That is what they have said about you. What will those people do with land? You, the foundation upon which they stand. I want you to remember that. But you see, my brothers and sisters, they have a plan. And their plan is to ensure that you don't get those lands and you are not able to use those lands as you should. Because they want to destroy your independence. They want to do to you what the PNM did to its own supporters along the East-West corridor. They want to turn you into people who are dependent on political patronage and handouts. They want to turn you into people that when they say come back home, you will have no choice but to go back home. Because if you don't, you will lose the CPAP job you have. That is what they are doing, because if they give you those lands, you could develop those lands and be independent and pass those lands from generation to generation as you have been accustomed doing. And that is what they are afraid of. They want you to be empty and substanceless. They want you to lose the respect of your wives and your daughters because they want you to sell your manhoods cheaply for 10 days and a t-shirt. That is what they want. So that when they say come back home, you will run back home. Do not forget that. Brothers and sisters, they treat you like dirt. But yet they fail to understand that you have emotions and you have feelings, that you are not numbers and statistics. These are the same people who will put on a kurta, who will visit a temple for Shivatri, sing a bhajan in the Diwali Nagar, and expect that when they say come back home, you run back home. But this time I'm telling you, when they say come back home, ask them, come back home to what? Come back home to what? And I've always said it, as Shakespeare would have said, there are those
ascended ambition's ladder, turned their faces to the clouds, and without looking back, scorn the base depths from whence they came. Those people treat you with nothing but scorn and disdain. But they forget one thing, my brothers and sisters. They forget that time is longer than twine, and when you go up, there's only one place to go, but down, and their days are coming. Their days are coming if they do not deal with you in a fair way. I tell you, if there is a God, I tremble for those who we have placed in office to take care of us. I tremble for them, because what they are doing to you must never be forgiven. Brothers and sisters, and we have to ask ourselves the question, what has happened to the joy and the happiness we felt in 2010 when with a 29-seat majority this government was placed into office? What has happened to that joy? Is it that we have been betrayed? Is it that the United National Congress is now controlled by people who fought against us in 1991 and fought against us in 2007? People who, when we stood in the rain and the mud and the sun and declared that we will form a party in 1998, they stayed with the then government and they laughed at us and they poured scorn on us. Do you really think these people will take care of us? Think about it. But I do not condemn my party. I don't condemn my party. I condemn those individuals who are wearing UNC clothing to fill their pockets and the pockets of their businessmen friends and their families. That is who I condemn. And you, every single one of you sitting here today in this audience, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because you have had to wait more than 10 years to get what is due to you, while the rest of the country is getting anything they wish. Why are they treating the ex-colony workers as they do? It is a mystery that I don't think we could ever explain. The time has come, my brothers and sisters, when we must once again unite in struggle. For your struggle is not over. As long as you have to beg and plead and weep for what is due to you, your struggle continues. And the time has come for you to say, enough is enough, and you are going to stand up and protect what is yours. Because you did not beg anybody for these lands. These lands were not a gift to you. You worked and you toiled and you sweat and you bled for these lands that are due to you. And you must demand it now. The government must know that the ex-colony workers are waiting. The people upon whose backs you stood to be propelled into power, they are waiting. And we are saying to the government, let those who have labored in the vineyards, let them enjoy the fruits of their labor. We must no longer allow those people in authority to believe that they have a divine right to our vote. If they do not take care of us, you cannot support them. And you must understand that those people are not gods, you know. They are public servants being paid $33,000 a month, plus allowances to do what they have to do. And I've told you before, and I will tell you again, when they build a box drain or pave a road, you don't have to bow to them and put mala around the neck. That is their duty, and that is their responsibility to take care of you. Always remember that. And when the next election time comes around, I am sure that in that party, they will tear each other apart to ensure that they hold on to certain safe seats. Because, and I said it and I will say it openly, there's no government in the history of this country who have done more in its power to lose an election than this government. And that is a fact. And when they come to you, they will be coming to you, they will be coming to the sugar belt. Because they know even if they lose everything, it's the sugar belt seats they're coming to. But you are the voters in the sugar belt. And you must ask them, where do they stand on the issues of the ex-colony workers?
In fact, today, we will call them Rujunat Inder Hussain, Rudal Munilal, Vasant Bhagat, Suraj Rambachan, Anand Ram Logan, Neela Khan, Nizam Baksh, Ramona Ramdial, Stacey Rupnarayan, Boti Wari, Ganga Singh, Malin Kudre, Chandresh Sharma, Glenn Ramadar Singh, Devant Maraj, Jairam Simangal, Prakash Ramadan Disyopi. After 4 years in power with 29 seats at your disposal, what are your views on the plight of the ex-colony worker? You must ask them that and let them tell you. Call them to account. Call them to account. You have been denied your constitutional rights to peaceful enjoyment of property because you have been denied your property that was supposed to be given to you 10 years ago. Because of that, because of the fact that the government, the past and present government, has breached its duty to you, has breached the Dialsin judgment, have denied you your constitutional right to peaceful enjoyment of property, arising out of this march, there shall be born a powerful lobby group of the Old Trinidad General Workers Trade Union, the ex-colony Farmers Association, the Sugar Boilers Association and the Cane Farmers, a powerful lobby group where we are going to demand of the government to take care of your issues now. And we will call that lobby group the National Solidarity Assembly, where we will unite together as one and call on any government to account to us. Today I announce to you the formation of that umbrella group to deal with the issues of cane farmers, small farmers, and ex-colony workers. We have to ensure through that group that every single man, woman, and child in this country is afforded equality, justice, and fair play before the law and the institutions that govern our society. You know why we have to do that? You know why we have to form this organization? Because of the manner in which you have been treated. We must never let them do to our children what they have done to you. Never let them do that, because if you do that, then you will be abandoning the legacy that you must leave to your children. I say to this government today that the National Solidarity Assembly, we are demanding that you do what is right and what is just and what is fair for the ex-colony workers. We are demanding that you fulfill your duty to your supporters. The worst sin is ingratitude, and the worst ingratitude is the betrayal of your own people. Always remember that. We are, however, no longer begging or pleading to get what is legally due to us. We are now demanding that they give us our legal entitlement. Today, we, the ex-colony workers, cane farmers, and small farmers declare if by June the 10th this year, the issues of the ex-colony workers, cane farmers, and small farmers are not dealt with, then the National Solidarity Assembly shall march from Rienzi Complex to Port of Spain to send a message to this government. You must take care of us now. In addition to that, the Old Trinidad will once again resume its Wednesday night forum twice a month. Every other Wednesday of the month, we will meet here. Any amount of us will meet here to discuss the issues facing you, the issues of colony and other issues as well. Because we must never again allow ourselves to be treated as they have treated us. My brothers and sisters, today is not the end, but it is the beginning. It is the beginning of a movement and of a struggle to ensure that never again in the history of this country will the ex-colony workers and their children be used and abused by any politician or those in authority. That never again will ex-colony workers ever be treated like second-class citizens. That never again will the ex-colony workers have to beg for what is due to them. And never again will anyone ever take the ex-colony workers for granted. Let them know that in unity, you wield more power than they could ever imagine. Because once you stand united as a band of brothers and sisters, you could demand whatever you wanted, and they have to do it for you. Remember that. Today, as you come here united, my brothers and sisters, you have reclaimed today the respect that you deserve from the government and from those in authority. You have reclaimed the dignity that you deserve. You have reclaimed your rights as first-class citizens of this nation because you have united together for the first time after 10 years. So I appeal to you, let us begin this journey together. Let us unite together. Let us work together to safeguard your future and the future of your children for generations to come. And as Winston Churchill would say, if the National Solidarity Assembly made up of the unions should last for 1,000 years, today in unity would have been its finest hour, because today we came together to demand what is due to us. Long live the ex-colony workers, the cane farmers and small farmers. Long live the struggle for peace, for equality and for justice. Long live the All Trinidad General Workers' Trade Union. I thank you and God bless.
Comrades, brothers and sisters, give yourself another round of applause. This is your union, this is the solidarity movement has been formulated and will be strategizing as these days come forward. So we thank you, safe journey home, and keep in contact with the office, keep in contact with your union headquarters here. Just BNC complex is yours, this is the People's Assembly. God bless you, safe journey home.
Thank you.